Well, táimid beat an seo in Fáilte Gael le bheith arís ag obair le Fáilte Ireland. We're so thrilled to be back partnered up.
It's a dream gig for us. We've literally made a podcast a caint meálar an grátágain den áitse, an cultúr, an tanga. So there really is no better match for us than Fáilte Ireland, the shared grá for this place, Lou.
Sinead.
Feels so right.
Look, we're always saying it, aren't we? Sometimes you just need to get away, recharge the batteries, tug sus, and find your way back to that very best version of yourself.
Being in sale, annach an óthach, maris olding. Everybody needs that reset every now and then, whether it's a slow, chilled break, gone deafer, gone stress, or something a little bit more lively. There's nothing quite like the feeling of getting away for a few days, and Ireland is the best place to do it.
Exactly. Do you know what? For me, it's malum dul áiteag an ciúin beidir like, you know, a muy faoin air, áiteag an a lár na tíre, and just really relaxing and finding myself at ease.
Whereas I like something a little bit more energetic, Louise. I like packing the car. I like heading out somewhere new, feeling like you're on top of the world, maybe out west. Beidir áiteag gig féidlum on air or a hogan to stock. A little bit of adventure. You can really park the stresses that way.
Sinead, and you know, tá rá féin a gacéine. Some people relax and find ease in the quiet. Others, they relax in the buzz.
Like a little city break. Be a mock colúder úntach, maybe even a gig or a night out. Those are the kind of things where you really find yourself having the time of your life. Agus, will is go tá sé dachar buchan tar sin.
Táimid go agus an rud is far ná go sé go léir có éascán léir, and you can hop on in the car, you can get on a bus, on a train, and you can do it at your own rhythm.
Táimid milte an sa an éiring bí dainachta son tá susbeag agus síorhear tuilte a gin go léir, and those little breaks really do make all the difference.
Táimid go dúireann agus be galore inspiráide orainn to gon live galua.
So what are you waiting for? Find yourself on a short break in Ireland. Din plan to the hiorhear inis DiscoverIreland.ie.
Cuairde agus fáilte go Fáilte Gael lumsa Louise.
Agus lumsa therein. Louise Canton, wait till I fucking tell you. I don't know myself.
Better.
Well, no, I'm on a high. I'm high on life because, okay, obviously it's on I'm sure Gama.
Yeah.
But I just want to tell you, and I know I've spoken with this before, cycling, okay? I'm a cycling girl. Cycled into town last night for pints. Cycled in, was in town 5 minutes. Had a rake of pints, cycled home. Then, Armaden, chumeisteach, roiíochta for me chud ingine chud dinta. Then I got them dinta and then I cycled in here and I was in here in 15 minutes and I'm just you know
well,
I'm delighted.
Dúchlanagam.
Okay, go on.
Right, and I'm going to set it for you now.
Go on, Aberdeen.
Between the fucking running and the cycling,
yeah,
I need a triathlon. Get into the pool. I want you swimming now next. And we're going to put on 3 rods like Kayla. Mark my words, Achorja, by this time on Bhíonn Shechuin, if we don't have there in swimming, lads, cycling and running.
Don't be surprised if you see me in Dublin City doing wheelies along the canal, okay? So it's me.
Oh, but fair play this. You know what? And you go through like seasons, I feel, where you know, you were obsessed with getting the car at one stage, now you're obsessed with the bike. So maybe
what you're obsessed with. Do you know what I mean?
Remember you were like, okay, no, I'm going to get a car. And then
now the car to get myself organised.
Get yourself organised. And now I feel it's like car's old news. Now the bike is favour
really
of the dirty.
No, Tom bike, yeah. Tom Hernash. It was no, but Tommy, me too in the bleepers. Tom the bleepers. Fucking excellent. You see, sorry, Dulty and Louise, like Tochgadi, you have, when you meet Louise, you have to come to her. She won't come to you.
It's
but no, it's really annoying actually. Sinead Sinead, get bleeper, download it on your phone. It's €1 to jump on a bike,
but
cycle down the.
And I know nach will to say gcomhair le clogad, but I'm fucking scared after I fell off that bike that time.
Yeah.
So I feel like I need an old clogad.
Well, buy a clogad, so like your girl, you can afford a clogad.
I can afford a clogad.
How much is a clogad? Fucking €25 or something.
Yeah, drop your recommendations here. Sorry, do you see the fella who ran while we're on this fitness chat? Who ran the London Marathon sub 2 hours.
Yeah, that was like me doing my intervals or Madden.
Oh my God.
Get over it. Speedy Gonzalez of Clontarf from.
Maudsley's back here. No,
she's back. Okay. She's back.
So, we met Aaron phone or Madden, and I was like, Jesus, I wonder what runners he was wearing. Like lol, as if the runners were going to make it.
Hold the machine, €100.
But the stocks in Adidas have soared.
Skyrocketed, yeah.
Apparently as soon as he crossed finish line in them, himself and on the V Star, I took 3 all wearing
Hold the machine.
Hold the machine
or radio.
And you know me, I'm an easy sell. I was nearly, I had them in my basket.
You're fucking joking.
I was like, and I was like, Louise, you're not going to run that much faster.
No. Well, I mean, put it out to Declan nach Shinavy Mar the OG How to Gael listeners will know Garev Shea Mar Spruck Egg. Was it that Declan said he was going to buy you a pair of honkers or the hookahs? The hookahs.
The hookahs are shite.
Yeah, 40 regular
Fake
hookahs.
news.
No,
They're gone.
well, yeah.
The Brooks now. Oh, I'm on.
Well, bhíoch me sharing the Brooks, near for my tostal go and but I'm on the hookahs now and they're spending enough, so I'll be getting my value for them. I'm going to get my 100 miles out of them anyway.
The 100 miles. If you miss like fault anyway, blisters on the hookahs. But lads, it just goes to show all these fancy schmancy brands, and maybe Adidas and Nike know what they're doing.
Well, you're going running a race in their shaft.
Yeah, no, I haven't saying it to anyone though, because I don't know yet if I'm going to post that wanker photo with the medal.
Okay,
but
what time
if
are
I do
you
it
aiming
under an
for?
hour, I will. If I'm sub-hour, I will. And
Okay.
this is a half marathon.
No, it's 10k. It's 10k.
If I get my marathon, and
What's your 5k time?
Sure, brand shade, like, as
Yeah.
in I've done them top in the past,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know, lads, it's got to be 10 as well. Come on. Anyway, we're not talking about it because I just need to get to the, get to the start line.
The sports psychology here is fucking going. She won't go to therapy, but she'll go to sports
I
psychologist.
tell you what, I was coming out of the Cork match, just coming out of Parky Queeve yesterday, and I met Jerry Hussey's wife, Miriam. I nearly said, any top tips?
Oh, she's in
said,
with the
"Shall I
Cork
psych my
hurlers.
brain up?"
Lads, come on. On the year Shachtana, Agor and the Cork hurlers. Here we go.
Unbelievable.
Lads, it's great to be back. Fuck me. Between cycling, watching the hurling, drinking pints. We're in. This is it. Shohain say so.
Episode Deanta Gwyn, if you want to revisit, you can, where we talk about Cork people being extra cocky. Well, by God, did I experience it firsthand in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Now, and I actually would die for the banter in the stadium, and I love a bit of a slag, right?
Yeah.
Your man behind me. And out at the start, right, Limerick obviously came out really well, first 15 minutes flying. And now this Cork fella's behind me saying, now that ref's after getting tickets to the Ryder Cup. That ref's after getting a pair of tickets in the post to the Ryder Cup. And I was like, you're fucking gassed.
Yeah, very fucking juicy.
Yeah.
They're quick out. Like the weight is unreal.
So anyway, enjoy it while you have it, and don't bottle the All Ireland now if you're back in it again.
Oh, do you hear this? Do you hear this? Do you hear this? What do you think of that, Joe Brolly?
Yeah, watching that, Joe Brolly.
Anyway,
Gael, but so between the cycling, Darren.
Between the side, lads, I'm flat out. I've never been as busy. I'm fucking. My fitness stats are up through that. Fuck. No, I tell
Can
you
you
something else.
Strava your bike rides?
No, I just do that just just to feel the rush of the wind moving through my hair.
Yeah.
But I know Rod Ella going my trace Tosnu and it has genuinely been revolutionary. Well, Chorod. So apparently Herma Anachud veg actually exprati Idir Shachtana. So yeah. Apparently the nutritional value from the veg that you're buying at the supermarket is shite, and it's pumped full of pesticides and stuff. Déach me a couple of rudags, lay me a couple of alt me other. So I've started buying my veg as I go in the local fruit and veg shop, and chumaishteach and lafyar canning my carry of the vaw and some spuds, a bit of courgette, and I just roasted it all up in like a pesto, a dog mess fridge or fried on the tree law, and then I just put in a bit of chicken. It was great. That'll be me now for the next time. It's doing town vegot though. Yeah. Obviously, Degna Mushkid Libera is like fucking 12-hour days, 14-hour days. So I'm just like grabbing things as I go. But to my really guri maroon on Taurig on Tamhort them Hain Eshinianov on Tarnarud, I've started taking a spoon of chia seeds and flax seeds every day in my yogurt, and revolutionary. It turns out the dietitians were onto something.
Is the gut flying it?
Excellent. Flying it. There you go.
You're very regular.
Very regular.
Delighted.
Very regular.
Yeah,
so there you go. No, but just even I feel great about myself. I'm like, do you know when you're doing I'm taking a cod liver oil. I'm taking I'm doing all the things. I'm taking my multivitamins. The mental, it makes such a difference.
You should have seen this girl a week ago. This is a new woman.
Yeah. No, it wasn't on the pints. Of course, I've been out 3 nights this week.
I'm a great
no
believer
harm.
in moderation. I think you can pint for,
But you see, you can't just, if you do both, perfect. If you're only doing one, it's actually not good for you. It's not good if you're too healthy because you've no life, and it's not good if you're too pinty because then your health goes to shit. So there you go. At the moment, Tama Idir raw, and by God, I'm straddling both of those things very well.
Well, fair play that. Come here, tá piece of ragras and I'll read it out because we had that nice little ep that we filmed in the Montanati, let me tell you.
Woo!
Stunning scenes. Okay, we've got some comments in. Colleeny, you need to do the Young Offenders dance, the first one, the electro mix, Derry Girls dance versus the Young Offenders dance. Darian, have you seen the Young Offenders dance?
No, I'm not doing any of this dancing. Sorry, I'm too
too what?
I'm too busy. I'm not able to dance, and I'm just
cycling
not
and fucking minding your gut.
girl, it's a fucking
Taking
full-time job.
shovels of
Something's
Chinese.
got to give. Something's got to give.
I'm
No.
actually delighted that Percy's laughing at this. The
know.
cheek of the She's too busy to dance with her good old
No, I'm
friend.
sorry. I just think
But she can plant fucking carrots for the gut.
I think that you doing the Derry Girls dance was just incredibly cringe, unfortunately, and I can't sign myself up for that. I'm sorry. Tabroner made sure I'm not doing it. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. Sorry, Louise.
Okay.
She's very offended, but
There you go.
I speak the truth.
Darren will only dance as a mating ritual when she's looking for a man on a night out. Clearly, I'm not good enough.
Actually, hánig piece of co-ragras is because chríochnaíomar on stra meallar éire aontaithe.
Yes.
And so much to divulge and dissect and we're still trying to process all that. Agus took me to Nash. But actually, hánig ban, I'm going to pull it up here on my phone because I was wronged. I was wrong something awful and I'm going to hang Sheevan O'Rourke out here to dry.
Go on.
But somebody sent in a piece of co-ragras which is very interesting about the Protestant experience in Ireland and how they're othered. And this person raised a lot of Rachel raised a lot of valid points, but she did say nuair a dógur durin cúpla mío hin nach gapan si gombeach mór an imróí hacha a géisteach len le héad the fud chréile as how to Gael. Just so you know, that was Sheevan O'Rourke who said that, not me. And actually, I mean, so just so you know, but lots of very valid points there, and táimid fill ar rud ar aontaithe. It's just there's lots to digest and sit with. Agus amachchan seo lads, we haven't Ireland United yet.
No.
Ach láigant.
Sinné, agus cúpla rud actually exciting some pipeline around Tarrig comá. So can we believe, by the way, that we're nearly around Tarrig already? It's going to be well and truly Bealtaine by the time this episode goes out anyway. We'll be in the throes of the summer.
In the throes of the summer.
Sin right, do make sure that you're following us on Instagram or on TikTok, or as always you can get a dangvá linn, drop us an early email. We love an email these days.
It's brawling
We love an email.
refus.
Yeah.
So howtogael@gmail.com. No curtachtarach chuig chomá ar Instagram howtogael. Bíon duine aigen to fara ar na Instagrams idir mahain agus Louise agus an Irin bíon mbuíochas súil ar agus bran and clush and twif.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Táimid na Seachtain an Tachtain show is how to be funny. Me and Darren wish we knew, so we've gotten a professional in.
A professional.
This is Vittorio Angelone, or how to Gael.
Vittorio, Fáilte Ireland.ie set How to Gael, not your first time in our little shabby chic Sharma City.
No, it's good to be back. Carmela, for having me.
Yeah.
That's all the Irish are getting out of me, by the way.
No, well, you're on a journey from
I'm on a journey.
Go on, tell us
I'm doing my
self-discovery.
best. I'm trying to have a hot Gael summer.
Oh, we love them. Yeah, they're the best type.
Yes.
They really are the best type. Yeah, go on, tell us.
I did my first sort of 10-week, once a week Zoom lessons with Gael culture, and they're very cool over there.
Wow.
So I did like 2 hours every Monday night.
Mad.
And there's fuckers from all around the world on it. Like, it was mad. I was sat there being like, people phoning in from Luxembourg learning Irish and all. I was like, this is so cool. And like, I wouldn't have been doing too much like homework in between the lessons. I sort of logged in once a week and went, oh, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing.
Do you get a lot of homework?
No, they're very good about it. Like, where they're like, you don't have anything to do but just like try and practice it. So I've been trying to chuck in a couple of fuckle here and there. But
Well, now, in fairness, so you live in, I presume you're a North London boy, are you?
yeah, why have you assumed that about me?
Well, because you wear a lot of
I'm so
Palador.
trendy and
You
cool.
wear a lot of Palador. You wear a lot of Carhartt. I saw in your story there that you're after getting some storefront bits as well from Derry. Big
This
fan
will
of
be a
storefront.
Oh, very
I
good.
storefront bit.
I love
And I'm
the
kind of
storefront
getting
bits.
a whisper of a mullet as well. Is
Yeah,
there?
no. So you have to have a few.
Yeah, you're
a
ticking
couple of
all the
fuckle.
boxes.
You couldn't be hanging around North London without a couple of fuckle with that moustache.
That Fontaine's DC kneecap gig in Finsbury Park felt like my spiritual sort of.
Yeah, coming
I've
home.
never been recognised more than at that gig.
Yeah.
I was in a mosh pit and people going, all right, like a podcast.
Yeah. But also recognising yourself in other people, because all of
We're all the same.
it's
We are
a
truly
type.
all the
It's
same.
a
Yeah,
type.
it is a type. I must say though, I'm surprised you don't have 2 hoop earrings. You just went for the one ear.
No, just the one.
Really, yeah. That's
Just the
unique anyway, at
one.
least.
I used to have this.
What
Oh,
did
yeah.
I
you?
used to have the, what's
Yeah.
it called? The helix?
Oh my goodness, yeah. Cartilage
the
or something.
top.
I think we used to call it in Limerick. Cartilage done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We
That was
went
the
through a
first one I
mad
got
phase.
done.
All right,
Was it?
very
Yeah, there's still
Yeah.
a hole there. That'll be there forever.
Yeah.
Well,
Why'd you take it
I'm
out?
glad to know that.
Well, why? Where's it gone?
It fell out when I was drunk and just couldn't be arsed. Like, sort of
Okay, yeah,
finding
yeah.
it
Do
again.
you know what? I have an issue with people, right, throwing shade at piercings, because I will tell you something about these bitches. Shiva isn't here to stand up for herself. But they told me very quickly when we got to know each other as friends that I had to get rid of my belly button piercing because it was cringy. And I took it out and she's never gone back in.
Yeah.
Now,
A belly button piercing. I don't know how. Not my favourite.
They're kind of spooky belly button
Yeah.
piercings. They're like
I
a big,
know.
like there's such a big hook to them.
You're right.
It looks like
Yeah.
you've been caught by a sailor.
but like they're very.
On the hook. But like, do you have a big rotten hole in your stomach then when you take it out?
Yeah. Sorry, we don't need to zoom in here. My tummy is not tender looking as good as she could normally. But you do have a hole. But can I say it's very Y2K? They're coming back around. And I'm not even going to lie. I checked recently if the hole was still open. And I just stuck an earring in. And they're actually quite long holes.
Yeah.
So do you know a regular earring? I don't know how we're gone down belly button gate.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I'll tell you the worst part of it all.
Okay.
You know where I'm
Does
going
it get
with
worse than this story?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like you can imagine like at what's congealing in that hole over the last 2 years of not wearing a like who cleans their belly button hole piercing? Let me tell you, smelly. Stink. They
You got a
stink.
smelly belly button.
My belly button hole piercing is
You have a
smelly.
smelly button?
I do have a smelly button. I do. And I'm sure that many people can you fucking definitely have a smelly helix like.
No, I'd be cleaning that.
Oh,
'Cause
do
it's
you?
a hole in my
you
body,
clean,
so
do
you would clean it.
Do you clean
wouldn't
it?
you?
How do you
Yeah.
understand,
I clean my
Vittorio?
arse as well.
Do you- Listen,
Cool. Yeah.
I'm glad that we got into holes.
Yeah.
Have I changed the vibe of the podcast?
No. This is good. I was going to ask.
We actually had planned this out. This is in
Yeah,
the running
yeah,
order.
Okay, good.
That's it.
Okay.
Let's get
We'll
straight
start with smelly
into
holes.
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
we'll go from
So
there.
that covered.
Sorry,
tick.
and I have one more thing to say.
Go
on
on,
this.
go on.
Have you ever seen on Joe? Okay, I don't know what my algorithm feeds me, but you know those little things that people buy to clean their nose ring hole.
Yeah.
Have you seen people clean their nose?
Would you
hole?
not just use one of them intradental brushes? Surely that
that's
feels
very
like it
thick.
could do the same thing.
mean-
I don't know how big that is.
What's an
they
intradental
would
brush?
be-
Is that like a thing?
like
that
Go
a
in between
flosser.
your teeth.
Oh yeah.
I see. No, you can buy like a little thing and you put it in and you kind of floss your hole.
Oh yeah. If you blow your nose and if you have a hole in it, does it come out?
Yeah, does it come
Anyway,
out?
anyway,
the holes
can we
are
move
tiny.
on? Can we move on? Because this is just it's going to turn my stomach. So anyway,
Floss your holes, bitches.
so you're from the north.
And I'm on a journey.
And you're on a journey.
And you clean your hole. That's it. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for tuning in.
No, but yeah. So yeah. So I'm just going to do a very quick pivot. Have you listened to our United Ireland series? We just finished it.
I'm scared of listening to your podcast.
Why?
Because I'm such little Irish and I love the clips. I watch all
Yeah.
the clips and think they're class. But I'm just like, I'd be but I'm getting into it because what I've found in the 10-week course, while I haven't picked up like loads and loads of vocab and loads of all that stuff, but I feel like as someone who did no Irish in school because of oppression, I now have an entry point to Irish, and we've been driving around Ireland like all of April, and even just like reading a road sign and going, I'm going to see like where that comes from and what that word means, and like the word avoca and the word this and the word that, and you're just like, I can, it's opened up my own pathway of learning as much as that, so I'm like sort of buzzing off that a wee bit. But
I'm interested. So, because you went to London early, like quite young, to go to
18,
college.
yeah.
So then the whole were you always mad to hold on to that Irish identity, or is that increased in the last couple of years
My
because of the whole
mum-
Renaissance?
I think I started the Renaissance.
Oh, cool! Yeah. You're going to change that too. People have to thank you for it.
My mum
been great
would,
for us, yeah.
would definitely say I held on to it from day dot. Like my mum would say my Belfast accent has gotten stronger. Since moving to London, and it is this thing of like you feel like it's like leaving you a little bit, and then in a weird way you simultaneously feel like that's what everyone defines you as, and you're put in a little box by people, but also that it's like seeping away from you and that you don't want to lose your accent. I mean, I just don't want to be one of those people that has one of those in between.
Yeah.
You know them golfer accents where
Yeah.
they're sort of like half American, half Irish, and it's all weird.
Are you
I
talking
know,
about Rory McIlroy?
No, G-Mac. Graham
Oh,
McDowell.
yeah.
His is crazy.
He has a very American twang.
You cold beers.
Do you know-
I was
Michael
gonna say-
Flatley has a dreadful dose of it as well.
He's a
like,
Chicago man though, and he was like brought up in an Irish community over there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
It also
very
helps
American,
that the northern accent is very sexy. You know what I mean?
Ooh, is it?
No, but oh my god, the Nordies, come on.
Because I always worried that it was like very aggressive, my accent. But I think I'm quite
No.
like, I speak maybe like deliberately softly so that it's not, I don't want to be spooking anybody.
Well, yeah, I
No.
suppose when you're doing stand-up in the
I think
UK, that's a pretty big. It's if you want to let them know you're friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on the generation of person.
Yes.
There's a generation that think I sound like Jamie Dornan, and there's a generation that think I sound like Jerry Adams.
And which one would you rather sound like?
Depends.
Yeah.
They're both beneficial in equal measure depending on your situation.
They've got their own sex appeal, both of them.
Yeah, they do.
Very true.
You can't, like, Jerry Adams is such a daddy, isn't he?
He is zaddy.
You're a big Jerry Adams fan, come on.
I wouldn't be a Jerry Adams fan. No, I would chat about him quite a lot.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so what does that mean? So you're a Jerry Adams what?
I'm a Jerry Adams
Are you a
fan.
hater?
I'm sort of interested. I'm not a hater.
So we're trying to get you to pin your colours to the wind here. Come on,
You'll
give
have
us
no
something.
colours pinned on me.
No,
Thank you
right,
very
you see
much.
this.
I'm
Clever.
elusive. I'm like smoke.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you're a comedian, right? So what is the story with getting away with things? If you have something to say, do you use comedy as your little way of skirting around, or, tongue in cheek, or are you on the nose? Like, what's the...
I think I would sort of pretty on the nose. Like, I'm not saying exactly what I think all the time. I'll maybe say what I don't think to provoke a reaction in whatever direction. But like, I think I've noticed that I will maybe talk about things comedically that other people maybe wouldn't talk about
Okay.
comedically. And like, just, I think that comes from Belfast, where like, we've always joked about the thing that bubbles under the surface. And then you go to England, and the last thing they want to do is joke about the thing that bubbles under the surface. They hate talking about race and money and class and all that stuff. But then you sort of make them, and they hate it.
But you also think you can get away a bit more with it from being from Belfast.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
A wee
See-
cheekiness.
Well, because you can be like, oh, well, that's like...
Yeah, I'm from
You
the-
can self-deprecate.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah, you kind of do have a pass to say you're like, oh, I'm a ceasefire baby and all this stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I lived through nothing. What do you mean?
Well,
Well, no, you can be like,
I've had no trauma, so
Yeah.
I can do that.
I know you have had trauma, because anybody, even if you're a ceasefire baby,
You're the most tormented county. I don't care what
Yeah.
anybody says.
Everyone
I
we
often
know
say
from
it.
Belfast is
Definitely the
tormented.
most tormented city in Ireland.
What do you mean?
I think you enjoy the torment
do.
of being tormented.
we love a bit of torment as well.
Have you seen your man,
Yeah.
that viral video
Go on.
where the guy's walking down, and I think he's from the Republic, and he's sort of like going, just drunkenly in Belfast. And this guy sort of appears out of the darkness into his like selfie video. And he's just weird. He's got like sort of a quiff and big, he almost looks like Elvis, but like a wee Belfast man. And he sort of appears in shot and goes, "Here, being alive is a fucking nightmare."
Oh, no, clip it.
Oh, God.
Like, you've just absolutely summed up exactly what I mean. Torment.
Yeah.
Love the torment.
Yeah.
But that's a thing. That like,
It is a thing.
There's comedians, that is the art of comedy, is learning to love your torment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever just pulls you apart and wrecks your soul the whole time, learning to embrace that and sort of
Yeah.
put it out there into the world.
So what is your torment?
Oh, at the moment?
Yeah.
It's sort of like, well, it's sort of, each show just becomes that, because when I'm writing a show, I don't go, I'm going to write a show about this topic. I like just try and write jokes and material without having any idea of what the show is going to be about. And then I sort of zoom out and look at all the jokes and go, right, what am I obsessed with? Because all of these jokes seem to be about that. Like, what is subconsciously sort of irking me? And the new show is about sort of comedy as an art form and offensive comedy, and how lots of other comedians annoy me when they say you can't say anything anymore. And then there's growing up in the wake of the Troubles, and that conversation in the context of this Irish Renaissance, whether it's like Say Nothing, the book, the TV show, Dairy Girls, all this stuff. And then this idea of like, in the title of the show is you can't say nothing anymore, of like, do I have to be an activist? Like, do I have a platform now? I don't know really, what am I supposed to do with this? There's terrible things happening and we see it on the news. Am I supposed to be, what can I do? I think a lot of people are feeling like,
Yeah.
how am I supposed to help with any of this that's going on?
Yeah.
And I think representing that on stage is like, that's the thing I find difficult every day, of like, how do you be a good person in what is quite clearly a terrible world? You know, and just figuring that out.
So is it their serious? What do you do?
There'd be serious moments in my show.
Yeah.
There's
No,
bits that are
genuinely,
like,
because
yeah,
obviously you can make light of
Yeah,
so much.
yeah.
Mm.
But are you saying that you're obviously have realised you have a platform?
Mhm.
So do you actively use it then to be an active? Do you feel compelled?
Yeah, not like, and like there's a big bit in the show about how to do that in a comedic way, because I think there's a very like cringe way to do it, where you just do a sort of like nuts and bolts comedy show about like self-service checkouts or whatever, and then at the end you go free Palestine and everyone's and it's like, okay, what's that do? Like, what? I don't know what that's for or what that is. And then whereas I sort of have like 15 minutes of the show is about Palestine, and that's and some of it's really funny and some of it's like really offensive.
Say
and
they're fucking delighted about that in Gaza.
they'd be buzzing. They'd be buzzing off my stand-up and stuff.
Fair play to them. They need a bit of joy.
We had a Palestinian in last night at Vicar Street.
I
She was really good crack.
Yeah.
She was well up for it.
Fair fucks to you though, because like that is brave enough for you to take on and to do.
But everybody says, like, I've been called brave a bit recently. I think it's post like Penny Morden stuff, but I genuinely think like I am just a bit ignorant. Like, you know what I mean? Like I thought, like, I was writing this show in preparation for the Edinburgh Fringe in 2025, and before I got up I was like, well, I can't talk to anybody for an hour without Palestine coming up.
Yeah.
Or, you know, something like Iran, or just something coming up that's pretty like horrific, because it's just sort of a cloud at the moment. And like, and I thought, well, stand-up comedy show, you're just going to talk to them for an hour, so it should represent what's on my mind and what might be on their mind. And I thought there would be loads of comedians talking about it, loads, and it felt like I was one of the only people talking about Palestine at all. And I was just like, whoa, this is kind of weird. Like, it's sort of exciting as an artist to be like, oh, maybe I'm, but then I thought, maybe am I doing something wrong? I don't know, but like,
do you think that coming from the background that you come from as well, obviously, you know, we know that people in the north have shown a massive, you know, display of solidarity with Palestinian people.
And vice versa. There's
like,
pictures that I find very funny of like Palestinian kids holding a sign that says Free Northern Ireland. And I'm like, lads,
you can't figure
you're
things
busy.
Sound, but like, yeah, we're okay. Jesus, yeah.
Yes. Tell me about your musical side.
I was a classical musician.
Go on.
I know. Yeah, so that's what I did.
Did you bite your lip?
He did, yeah.
I was a xylophone player. I was a triangle player. I was so good.
Would you play?
This is anything you hit, percussion, so like
Okay.
triangle, xylophone.
Cool.
Is it true
Yeah.
that it's one of the hardest instruments?
No.
No.
Fuck it. This is so annoying now. People gaslight me all the time, Vittorio, because I am flat out. Darren bought me spoons for Christmas.
I got spoons for Christmas.
Did you?
Those wooden ones that are way too loud.
Yeah. Can you play anything on them?
A little bit, yeah. I'm working on boron at the minute.
Are you?
Okay, so
Yeah,
actually, I have a couple of
players
things.
playing before my show.
Sorry, I meant to ask you because I actually know Nisha did your. I know Nisha who did your.
Nisha Kettle.
Yeah,
fiddle
he's
player.
great.
He's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Who's playing with you for you tonight?
So the core of the group that plays on the tour is a band called Chuig.
Oh,
who sort of
yeah.
don't really exist anymore, but like,
Yeah.
because one of them lives in Australia, one of them lives in London, so it's like,
Okay.
yeah, me, Hollow, and Cahill are
Okay.
playing this evening, and it's been class to feel really tapped into like the trad world.
Yeah.
And we've had like mad, I think word has sort of spread that it's like a fun gig to do.
Class.
They
Yeah.
do like the pre-show, and then they play in the interval, and then there's a little bit at the end, which is a secret.
Okay.
And,
very exciting.
And
If you need
But I-
anyone on spoons,
yeah,
Don't
you're
ask
in.
Louise. Yeah. No, don't
But
ask
I'm
Louise.
like, for some of the shows I bring a boron and sit side stage and like
class.
try and teach myself the boron while they're playing much
Deadly.
better than I could ever play.
Oh.
But word has spread that it's like a good fun gig, to the point where we've had some like really, really brilliant musicians. There was a funny one. One of our the guitar players, Lewis.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be getting the train up from London to Manchester to do the Manchester and Liverpool gigs, and we get a phone call. We were driving from somewhere else, and we get a phone call from him going, he's like a wee Maher felt boy,
Oh, yeah.
and he goes like, lads, I've been bit by a dog in London. I'm pissing me blood here. I think I have to go to the doctor. And we were like, yeah. And he's like, I don't know if I'm going to make the gig. And we were like, well, don't worry about that. You've been bitten by a dog.
Oh.
So he goes to the hospital, and he's all right now. But also at the same time, while being worried about Lewis, we were like, oh, we need a guitarist in
Of course.
Manchester, like to do like trad stuff. Like, so we start texting around all of our mates to be like, who's in Manchester, who could do the gig, blah, blah, blah. And somebody was like, here, like, Mike McGoldrick lives in Manchester.
Sure, I know well. Yeah.
And like, he might,
Do it.
like, he
Stop
plays
it.
a bit of
For
guitar.
fuck's
And we were
sake.
like, we're
Oh my
not
goodness.
asking the greatest Irish traditional flute player of all time to
Ah,
play
it's-
guitar at a stand-up comedy gig.
Amazing.
That's stupid. And then somebody else had recommended this guy Jimmy. Two other people had recommended this guy Jimmy. Jimmy said yes to doing it, and he was like, oh, but can my mate come watch? And we were like, yeah, what's his name for the guest list? And he
Fuck
was
off.
like, Mike McGoldrick.
Did he play?
No, he just
just
watched
watched.
the show.
Oh.
I just
Yeah,
went to
yeah,
watch the show. That is gas.
So
Jeez.
much fun.
Oh
Well,
my
fair dues
goodness.
to you.
So funny.
I'll have to do. We'll have to do a collab now. I'll have to be your fiddle player one of the days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Jump on a Vicar Street tonight.
Jump on a Vicar Street tonight. Well,
Sorry,
I intend on
did
having a
I
few
not
pints.
just offer the spoons?
Yeah, but Louise, come on. I'm actually
It's
making
just
a real
serious
offer here
musicians
now.
only,
Yeah,
is it?
yeah.
Victoria.
That's
fine.
now.
They'd be very serious.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, moving on from the Ceol. Sorry, actually, no. Take us back to playing the classical triangle.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
What was
a,
that like?
So that's what I did. That's what I moved to London for. I moved to study classical music to be a
Go on.
percussionist, playing at the back of the orchestra and stuff like that. And
How did that go?
did that. It was sort of my job. Like the place I went, and you don't want to like, you know, speak highly of yourself or whatever. But it's like one of the best music colleges in the world.
Class. Oh, speak highly. What's it called?
The Guildhall School of Music and Drama.
Guildhall.
So it's like pretty cool. It's a brilliant drama school as well.
Yeah.
Like Orlando
Yeah.
Bloom went there, Daniel Craig, Michelle
oh,
Dockery.
excuse me.
Like it's all very
Oh my God.
fucking
Fair
cool.
play to you.
Yeah.
So did that. I've like played at the proms in London, and I played with the Ulster Orchestra a couple of times. And it just like it wasn't my thing. I think part of it was like I never felt like there was any chance of me being like the best at that. Whereas I think like if I work really hard, like I could be one of the best comedians, and I think that's exciting. And while I was studying classical music, I was going to see a lot of comedy shows, and I was like, I'd be on stage in an orchestra being like, this is weird because I don't come watch these concerts. So if I want to perform, I want to make the thing that I would watch, and I've sort of tried to stick to that of like make the thing that you would watch.
That's like, is that wild in my head? I'm like, orchestral music and comedy seem poles apart.
Yeah.
That like, you know, it's so serious, and you used to like, don't you have to really concentrate hard to like hit the notes if you're doing percussion?
Yeah.
And I feel like, is in comedy, it's like,
Yeah.
when did you realise you were funny? Were you there sitting
Yeah.
I wasn't.
playing triangle thinking, geez, I could be telling jokes?
I was never funny. Like growing up and all, I was like
Just
a
overly
quiet,
confident.
anxious, sort of like introspective. I had like really severe anxiety when I was a child.
How'd you?
Couldn't leave the house.
Wow.
Yeah, I got like agoraphobic and like really was in like
Yes.
been getting therapy in hospital from when I was 9,
Okay, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
obviously you got an autism diagnosis.
which does explain a bit.
Yeah. How did that feel?
So I didn't have that sort of light switch thing that some people have when they get diagnosed with autism, which I was a
Yeah.
little bit like jealous of. Some people like get the diagnosis and go, "Oh, everything makes sense, and isn't it so nice?"
Line
and
boy.
whenever
Yeah.
That zoom on your roll.
release the episode. I did a live show with him, and it was
really?
great.
Did
and
you?
it's not come out.
Why?
No.
You were funnier than him. You're more autistic than him.
I don't think that's possible. The cunt has a bag on his head.
Yeah. Now you're so yeah.
I'll not have you say anything bad about our Limerick man.
He's great.
Sorry
Yeah.
now.
I have to ask.
Why didn't he release the tape?
He doesn't
He
release all
hasn't
the night
yet.
ones.
Oh, he doesn't. Oh, you see.
We
Maybe
should-
he's waiting.
Yeah, he's probably waiting. Here's a question for you. Is it true? Des Bishop often talks about being a comedian, and for men, I feel like it's not the same for women. It's probably a double standard, but like women just throw themselves at comedians.
I think this has been a funny thing from like my teenage years, where like I was like quite a pretty like teenage
Yeah.
boy, and my mates who I like played rugby with would just like push me into the middle of like a party or like a bar or something.
Yeah.
And
Great
then
friends.
like women would like girls would be like come up and say hi.
Yeah.
But I am so useless
Okay.
at talking and like social stuff
Yeah.
that within like 5 seconds they would be like, who is this guy? And then they'd sort of turn around, and then one of the sort of rougher looking rugby guys who could speak to people
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
like, hello.
No, yeah.
And I was just like,
You were the bait.
But is it generally? I know you have a partner, so obviously,
yeah, and I'm
that's
a real like
different.
wife guy. So like I
Yeah,
think I'm very.
we love to see it. We love to
do you know
see
what I
it.
mean?
You know.
So I think I'm so like I talk about her in the shows.
Yeah.
And like I don't say her name or what she does, because I
Yeah.
sort of think like that's I don't like she doesn't do what I do, and
Yeah,
therefore
yeah.
she doesn't have to be in the sort of spotlight of that. Like she wants to live
Yeah.
her own life and do her own thing. But like I talk about like our relationship and how much I like care for her and love her and stuff. So like on the podcast and in stand up, to the point where like I think that happens every so often if people have like no real concept of who I am. But
Yeah.
like also my audience are like dead sweet and like quite neurodivergent.
Perfect.
So like they're just dead polite,
Flocking-
and like
flocking
even
to
the
their own.
DMs I get where it's
Yeah.
like, hi, I was just wondering, like, would you like to go for a drink maybe?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not like, whereas
Yeah.
Mike just gets tits.
Yeah.
People just send him tits.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be getting any tits now. And
People, sorry, tits.
tits.
Yeah. Really?
I don't get any tits.
That is mad.
Do you
I'm
know?
happy enough though.
No, but I do get it. Isn't it so funny when you put yourself up on the stage? Like I do think one of the best traits a person can have, a partner can have, is being funny. Like, you know, the way they're like, if you marry a funny man, you'll be happy for the rest of your life or whatever. Find yourself a funny husband and then you make your own money, or what's that saying? I'm sure there's something like that. I don't know. Humor is a very attractive trait.
Absolutely. And holding court, I'm always like somebody who like stand-up sort of has like, you know, the lights are pointing one direction and you have a microphone, so it sort of does that sort of magnetism. But like I have an uncle who, as soon as he starts talking in the pub, everybody listens. And I just think that is class. Like that is so amazing.
I love that idea of holding court. God knows we all here love a bit of holding court ourselves, but it takes a certain type of person to captivate a room. Like, I bet your uncle has some. What is it? Is it a je ne sais quoi? Like, what is it about him?
The charisma.
Is it the riz?
He's got riz.
Has he got riz?
67-year-old uncle has riz. And every time you say his age, he goes like this.
That was fucking gas. Fair juice to him.
I love him. Is he free to do the podcast? Is he Danny Gaeilge?
Yeah. Would he
No,
come
but
on and
he's
be a
learning the
guest?
concertina.
Oh no,
Yeah,
that's very cute.
Oh, I thought saying no is a bad thing.
No, I think that's really cute. I always think older people who are going back to learn music, I just think it's very sweet.
Yeah.
You know.
So it's 3 lessons. He refuses to leave the beginner's course.
Oh.
He keeps going back.
Very cute.
Sorry, you need to get him on as your opening act.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh my
We
God.
had one
Concertina
of
and
my
chats.
sort of uncles by extension played guitar in Galway. It was the first time he played in years, and it was really cool
Yeah.
to have somebody on board like that. Yeah,
Unreal.
very cool.
I was asking before you go, what are the Irish artists, you know, comedians, actors, writers, musicians that are exciting to you and that you're drawn to their work?
I would say I did that. Have you seen that art to art thing? The art to art series where they have like, they've mostly in the first series had musicians talking to other musicians, and there's no interviewer, but they're like interviewing each other. And I did that with Hazel Dupe recently.
Oh yeah.
And she is amazing. She's just such like a thoughtful, like, I think she's such an incredible actor. I loved her in Say Nothing, and then watched loads more of her stuff in prep for that, and I found her to be very like inspirational. And then somebody like, you know, Sally Rooney, and then I would include, and I think she would include herself in this, Maggie O'Farrell.
Yeah, she's
She,
great.
like,
yeah.
like,
Iconic.
Instructions for a Heatwave is like such an amazing portrayal of like Irish families that I just like, think it's so cool.
Are you a big reader?
Trying to be.
You're
but I just,
the phone.
You're giving a lot of London fuckboy with the.
I'm a performative male.
It's given that with the reading and the Carhartt and the.
Are you saying
rest of it.
because I wear jackets and read books, I've got notions? This is crazy.
Absolutely,
We love a
absolutely.
notion
We love to
here.
see it. Listen,
It's
I
really
mean, look, long may the Irish performative male archetype reign. You know, it's going up against the manosphere. It's the lesser of two evils.
But I think it's worse when I'm trying to chuck in a couple of fuckle as well, because it's
it
makes it worse. It makes it worse.
worse.
But you know what's really hard about trying to like add Irish or like Gaeilge into your day-to-day life is I have to switch it on and off.
Yeah.
Whereas like loads of people I know can just like, you know, throw in a Gurmila, a Slán or an Iwa or whatever. But like if you're getting a taxi in Belfast, you can't always be saying Gurmila when you get out of it.
Yeah.
That'll be a problem.
Yeah, but you know what? It wouldn't be. Maybe it's just like softly.
Darren.
Come on.
Darren. A lot of those fella have guns in the glove box.
Well, look, maybe we need to go and spend more time up there getting in and
You
out
need
of
to get
taxis.
cheaper taxis in Belfast.
Well,
Yeah.
Come here, we can't let you go without asking this question. You've mentioned your musical. You were in the Guildhall, for God's sake. End of the night, Vittorio. You're in a session. What song are you singing?
Oh, it's so basic, and I did this recently.
Go on.
It's Raglan Road, but I really love
No way,
singing
like a
it.
bit of Patrick Kavanagh.
It's really nice.
Would you sing a little bit for us?
No, there's absolutely no chance.
Oh,
I'll do one if
No
you do one.
chance. I got talked into it.
Who did you do it for?
So there's a great bar in
I
London
get very jealous.
called the Harlot the Moon.
Oh
in
yes,
Hoxton.
yes.
And I used to go there when I was really homesick at like
That's very
college,
cute.
and I would just sit and drink a pint and listen to the trad session run by a guy called Nigel, and a flute player called Emer, and a whistle player called Clodagh.
And I know them all. Would you believe? I know, yeah. Emer, long
Emer
blonde hair.
McGill?
Yeah. No, I know
Clodagh
Emer well.
Holland,
Yeah. I have gone over and played at the Return to the London, or Camden as it used to be called, festival a load of times. So I know all that. I actually did a documentary on the London Irish music scene.
All right, I'm
Yeah.
a guest.
Go
on
on.
the podcast.
I know. Sorry,
Ask me
excuse
about
me. Sorry. Go on, go
Darren
on.
wants to drop a name.
I know, but
tell you.
the Ceol Chat Shoot is that's
I
my
know
big
all
thing.
of them.
I know them all.
Actually, best friends with them.
I'm just trying to get a gig out of you. I'm trying to get you to book me.
Go
So
on.
I was there and I would go watch and I would meet like there was one week I bought like Nigel a pint because he sang a song and I was like, oh, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, where are you from? And I was like, oh, I'm from Belfast. And he was like, would you play at all? And I was like, no, I would maybe sing a little bit, but I wouldn't play very much. And he goes, oh, you have to sing a song. And I was like, no. And then I sort of go sit down and drink my pint. And then it was like 2 weeks later, I was there again, and the session was from 2 till 4. And at like 5 to 4, he like announces to the whole pub. And he's someone when he starts singing, everybody shuts up and just like listens. It's like amazing. And he finishes a song and then goes, oh, just before we finish the session this week, we've got a special guest. Vittorio's going to come sing a song, and hadn't
like
told
a man
me
after my own heart. Love it.
that I was going to do that
Put you on the spot.
at
Perfect.
all. And he was like, come on. And then like people were like, so I just had to go sing, and I like
Loved
was
it.
listening to Raglan Road that week, so did that. But
Fair
I'm not
dues
doing
to
it
you.
on the podcast.
Well, okay, but sure, maybe we might get. We're very excited because we're going to go to your comedy show later, and we might cajole you if we meet you after having a few pints. We might strong arm
I'm
you into
around
singing
for
a song.
one pint tonight, but we're up the road to Belfast
Oh, fair enough.
after
fair
one
enough,
pint.
fair
But
enough. Okay.
one day we'll get
One
drunk
day.
enough in New York where I don't know anybody.
Okay, we'll
And
hold
you'll
you to
sing a
that.
song.
We'll hold you
We
to
were
that.
all singing the
find
Wild
this-
Mountain Time. That was
Oh,
good
we were.
crack.
That was
With
really
Bird.
good. Yes,
now-
this is how me and Vittorio met. We met at a night out in.
That was some crack.
That was
wasn't it?
really good fun. It was
Very
really
good.
good
In
crack
New York?
in New York City.
Now, you see, and this is where I take issue with people who are excellent singers not singing. I actually
We don't
have,
know
like,
his accent. In fairness, he could be shit.
the reality is, if I could sing, do you know how many songs? I'd stand up on this couch right now and I fucking wouldn't stop. So I think everyone needs to stop taking for granted that they can sing.
Oh, but there's nothing worse.
That's a pain in the hole.
There's nothing
You could have
worse
just
than
given us one
somebody-
verse.
But there's nothing worse than somebody who sings too much. Any opportunity and they're singing a song.
But I can't sing like that.
She's just made this out. She's just. This is
I
an
think
act
this is
she's
about
gone to
people that
burn.
can do backflips.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I can do the worm and what's the other thing I can do?
Your laces.
A carrot wheel.
I'm way better than that. I can imagine if I do my laces while doing the worm. Okay, this is going into.
Okay.
Thank you so much. You're gas. You're definitely a comedian anyway.
Yeah.
You're very funny.
Come see me.
Very funny.
On tour in the autumn.
When can
Yes.
we come see you?
Gaiety Theatre, we've just added 2 shows at
Stunning.
the Gaiety
Unreal.
in October. And then around Ireland as well, Sligo, Westport, Laois, Carlow. I'm going to all sorts of places I've never been before.
Deadly.
Good crack. Did Limerick already, did the concert hall. Very good crack.
Lovely.
Very good crack.
Unreal.
Didn't come.
We've gone way over time in this interview. So,
Land
táimid
plane.
anna mbuíochas, Vittorio, fair play. That was so much crack, and we're dying to see you tonight. So, Gurmina Machas for coming out.
Carmina for having me.
Well, now Gertrude Shinga hauling.
Yeah, he's great.
We were getting giddy near the end there now. We were fucking, the wheels had come off.
The wheels have come off, but I'm buzzing. Táimid de dul tréis on taffet seo I know of Táimid de dul chun féchant our show Victorio, so I'm buzzing for that now. That'll
Yeah.
be VV good.
Beg shape.
Yeah.
I know, Agus, could they more dote as well.
I know, such a dote.
Very nice, yeah.
And lads, you heard it here first, exclusive. Vittorio's a nice boy.
Very nice.
Bualadh.
Bualadh, shay. Right, well, Gluish na seachtainna.
Gluish seachtainna, okay. For sure, on the va.
Yeah.
Okay, Gari, Mahatu Snatriha Gari.
Do you know Vias Exweenav and I don't know the Irish? I'm going to have to Kirkesh Dirta.
Go on.
What's your belly button?
Oh,
What's Gaeilge?
oh my God.
Is it like Canapa? Oh, it is in there. Sorry. Imlachan.
Oh, Imlachan. Okay, there you go.
Imlachan, I've never heard that in my whole life. It's something it's like your umbilical, you're probably connected that way. Imlachan, I've no idea. Pulla is a piercing. Canag Hill, percussion.
Arouse, Louise. Fair play with it.
Imlachan. There you go now. Gas.
Yeah.
I thought there would be a cute little word for that. There would be something like bolog or something.
Okay, well, I'd say if you go any film so kind of our ena their farmer keen and so, but I'd say that right ha lurg focal ha couple of rower or shin.
Okay, Anava. Sinead, will I up no yacht na shacht na got them?
Yup, the shot cycling. Sorry, because my personality now.
Yeah.
Just forget about it. I'm not going to talk about anything else for another 6 weeks.
Fair play. Agus, yacht na shacht na?
Yacht na shachtana. Cad é yacht na shachtana dumsa. Nílis go molen yacht na shachtana gutsa.
Ní dóilem, mo cadé.
Pesticides, trying to fucking eat vegetables and then going to mach na folen nutritional value cohags go shield land chak.
Okay.
So that's supermarket vegetables my yacht na shachtana. No fun for me.
Right, go aiga there in
Yeah.
Lachan.
No.
Okay. What's your name, Jorge? Be mo de rasherit? Gadisha, Torara.
Slán!